This program is brought to you by Barristock, Kung, Breeders' Choice and the International Fund for Animal Welfare. This program is brought to you by Barristock, Sandy Simons, Coastal Dog Training and Finoan Pet Cremations. Hi, welcome to another great show of All About Animals. I'm Olivia.
And I'm Jake. On today's show, I get to meet some sharks.
And I cuddle a baby pet rat. How cute!
And we meet a gorgeous Australian shepherd. And after the show, make sure you go to our Facebook and Twitter pages for great updates.
Sit back and enjoy another great show of All About Animals.
We're here at Ocean World Manly to speak to Tony about all the sharks that he has. So Tony, what type of sharks do you have here at Ocean World Manly?
We've got some grey nurse sharks, we've got wobbegong sharks, we've got some Port Jackson sharks, which is Sydney Harbour local, and of course we've got some bamboo sharks in here too.
And what are the differences between them all?
Well, depending on the sharks, our grey nurse, of course, are a big shark. They swim around in the mid-water. We've got our wobbegong sharks, which are a bottom dweller. They're a stalking predator, so they live around in the camouflage, as do the Port Jacksons, and the bamboo sharks lay on the bottom as well.
So do they eat just fish?
Well, they do eat fish. All of the sharks eat fish, but they do also, the smaller sharks, the Port Jacksons and the wobbegongs, tend to eat a lot of your mollusks, cephalopods, so your octopus, cuttlefish, those sort of things as well as smaller fish that they can get.
Oh, cool. And where are they mostly found?
Well, the grey nurse population that we've got here is the East Australian population, so from southern Queensland waters all the way through to southern New South Wales.
Okay, and are they dangerous in the wild?
Our grey nurse sharks are considered a non-dangerous shark. We're more of a threat to them than they are to us.
Oh.
We tend to damage them by fishing and so on, boating accidents.
Oh, okay. And what about the wobbegongs and the Port Jacksons?
The wobbegong sharks are found along the west coast of Australia, up across Indonesia, and mainly down on the Western Pacific along the east coast of Australia and some of the Pacific Islands. The Port Jackson sharks, generally around Sydney, around the Sydney Harbour is their main area, but they do radiate out a little bit north and south of Sydney Harbour.
And what do you like most about sharks?
I love their power,
Yep.
but they're still very gentle animals. When you're in with the shark, you can feel and sense their power that they have with them, and yet they're not forceful about it. So they're not a danger to us, so they're very friendly. And Jake, another thing that I love about these sharks is I actually get to hop in and swim with them.
Are you serious?
Yeah, so do you want to come and see me in there?
Sure.
So, let's go.
Well, it was amazing to stand under the tank at Ocean World Manly and watch Tony diving with the sharks. They really are gentle giants in the water, and he was able to get really close to them and film them for us, which was great. It's actually quite relaxing to stand there and observe the amazing wonders of the oceans. So for more information, go to oceanworld.com.au.
Today we're looking at the beautiful Burmese cats. So Beverly, what do you like most about the Burmese cats?
They're very beautiful to look at, and they're also a very, very beautiful temperament. They just love people. They are all individuals, and this one's very noisy. Would you like to hold her?
Sure.
Tuck her under, that's it, and stroke her, and she should stay there.
So Bev, do they come in all colours?
They come in 10 colours. There's brown and blue. This one's lilac. There's also chocolate, red, cream, then brown, blue, chocolate and lilac torties. So quite a lot of colours.
Yeah. So do they make a good family pet?
They are a wonderful family pet. They don't care how often they're picked up and cuddled, and if they had a kid's birthday party, they're happy to be past the parcel. As long as they're getting cuddled, they don't care.
So do you spend much time grooming them?
A little bit, not a lot. Grooming basically consists of what you're doing now, which is stroking. And as you can see, because it's winter, you're stroking out quite a lot of dead winter hair, and you're getting covered in it.
And how much do they cost?
They come vaccinated, desexed, microchipped, house-trained, wormed, house-raised, and they cost you about $600. Most breeders charge around that price.
Well, thanks for sharing the Burmese with me. They're very soft.
You're so welcome.
There are lots of different types of pets you can have.
Today we're going to find out what it's like to have pet rats.
So Danielle, what made you decide to get pet rats?
Originally, we bought one as a gift for a family member, but she ended up being pregnant, so we got stuck with these guys, and they've been a pleasant surprise.
And do they live for a long time?
Their lifespan is 2 to 4 years, but usually they will survive until 2.
And how big can they grow?
Well, these guys, being male, can get to maybe the length of your hand, maybe including their tail.
Yep.
But females are obviously smaller.
Yeah. So what equipment do you need to look after a rat?
For these guys, being that they're still quite small,
Yep.
one of these containers is fine.
Yep.
But once they're fully grown, obviously they're going to need something a little bit bigger. Some people keep them in fish tanks with a wire top. As for equipment, just a bowl and with food and water.
Yep. And people say that they're dirty. Is that true?
They're actually extremely clean.
Yep.
If you watch them, the one that I was holding just before is now cleaning himself.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they don't actually like the oils on your hand. So as soon as you've touched them, they will actually clean themselves, thinking that you're the one that's dirty, not them.
And what do you feed them?
Well, when they're fully grown, they eat a rat pellet, like what's here. These guys have just started going onto it, so they're a little bit too small for it at the moment. But usually the rat pellets, as well as vegetable scraps and nuts and grain and that sort of thing.
So Danielle, what do you like most about the rats?
I don't know, they've got a bit of character, and they seem to be very curious but calm at the same time.
Well, thanks Danielle for sharing the rats with us.
You're welcome.
They're really interesting and very cute.
Yeah.
After the break, Jake and I get to go into surgery and watch a dog being dissected. It was so cool. And later in the show, I catch up with Port Power legend Kane Corns.
Welcome back to All About Animals. Now, Olivia and I were really fortunate because Dr. Paul Crocker at Roseworthy's Companion Animal Health Centre invited us to join him in surgery. We watched Don as he started by getting scrubbed up. It took a while to get clean because he said it's really important to make sure there is no chance of infection with animal surgery. Then it was time for Dr. Crocker to start operating. Today a dog was being dissected. This is a really important part of being a responsible pet owner to make sure that unwanted pups aren't born. There are already too many strays and unwanted animals in animal shelters and rescue centres, and they cost a lot to look after and rehome, so dissecting your dog is essential. Dr. Crocker started by cleaning the area he needed to operate on. Olivia and I watched on trying to get a close look at what was happening. It was actually really interesting and was over so quickly. Vets like Dr. Crocker are so experienced that they can do surgery like this quickly and safely. Now that the main part of the surgery had been completed, Dr. Crocker had to stitch up the wound area so that the dog could heal properly. We still had a few questions to ask though.
So what's the suitable age to get your dog dissected?
Well, most places will desex dogs at about 6 months of age. Little dogs you can desex a tiny bit earlier, and larger dogs you can desex a bit later, but 6 months is usually when we think about doing it.
Alright.
So how old is Barrett?
He's 4.
It's 4, so...
Yeah, so he's an ex-racing greyhound, that's why he wasn't desexed. So he used to be a racing greyhound, but he is now retired from racing, and so the greyhound adoption program is finding him a new home. Yep. He's going to spend a few weeks with us first and then go off to home. So they don't usually desex the racing greyhounds.
Well, that was a really cool experience, and we are so glad we could watch Barrett being dissected.
Now in the wild, horses' hooves will naturally wear down to a healthy length, but when they're kept in paddocks and stables, they need some help from a farrier. When you own a horse, it's really important to make sure you have a farrier coming to check your horse about every 6 weeks. Horseshoes protect their feet from the weight of the rider as well as any hard surfaces, plus the farrier will trim their hooves just like we do with our fingernails. First, the farrier will file and trim the hooves down to a healthy length. Then he'll fit the shoe to the foot and use nails to keep them secure. It might look painful, but the nails don't even hurt because they're inserted in the non-sensitive area of the foot. But only a trained professional can do this, as the nails are put in a very special place using a special technique. It costs about $80 to $100 for 4 shoes depending on the farrier. For more information, go to 4xfarm.com.au.
Hey Olivia, are you ready for today's joke?
Yeah.
Okay, this is sent in from Lachlan Johnston of Maddington, WA. Okay, what do you call a kangaroo mixed with a sheep?
Dunno.
A woolly jumper. See if you can make Olivia laugh. Send your animal jokes to info@allaboutanimalz.tv.
Hi, today we've been invited to be ambassadors to National Threatened Species Day in Sydney.
So come on guys, let's go check it out.
It's going to be so much fun.
Oh yeah?
This is a really, really important day because it's a day for celebration, but also a day to mark the loss of the last Tasmanian tiger. But it's also a day for celebration, celebrating the wonderful and unique wildlife that we have on land and in our oceans. And some of those are very, very special animals, as you can see, Bruce here that Kerry's holding. We have monotremes, platypus. We have some very unique creatures in this wonderful country of ours.
And we're going to speak to Michael from Wildlife Sydney. What cute animal do you have?
Today we've got Chris over here. At the moment he's got a little very young sugar glider in his hands here.
Okay, and is there any way that we can help the sugar gliders?
Some of the basic things we can do to help our wildlife is ensure that we're all very responsible pet owners. We keep our cats in at night. We always know where our dogs are.
So guys, this is Nara.
Oh, Nora.
She was born in May.
So what can the public do to save these dingoes?
The biggest threat, as we know, facing dingoes is them interbreeding with domestic dogs.
Crossbreeding, yeah.
So the best thing we can do, we
Yeah.
can have our dogs desexed.
Well, thanks for chatting to us today about Nala.
Very welcome, guys.
This is one of our little critters. He's a green tree frog. Like a lot of our native Australian animals, their population is declining.
And what are the biggest threats?
Habitat loss is a huge problem for all species all over the world, and particularly for frogs is a big problem with water quality. So if we pollute our waterways, really important habitats, then we're going to lose frogs. If the water is dirty, the frogs cannot survive.
Thanks for your time.
No worries, you're welcome, guys.
This is a Woma python, and Woma pythons are found in central Australia. They live in sandy deserts and they shelter in burrows. There's less than 1,000 in the wild. Not many left.
Really, just 1,000? And what can the public do to save these animals?
The biggest threat facing Woma pythons these days is the loss of habitat.
So can we hold it?
Yeah, guys, do you want to help me?
Yep, sure.
You ready? Come closer together. Ready?
Wow. Wow.
How does it feel, guys?
Feels quite weird, actually. Yeah. You can feel all the muscles in it, and yeah.
Wow, that was great. Jake, what was your favourite animal?
My favourite animal was a dingo. What was yours?
Mine was a green tree frog. It was really cool.
And make sure you remember just how important our native animals are. Stay with us because after the break, Olivia gets to know some of the horse riders at Riding for the Disabled, and then she drops into Kane Corns' house to meet his family and learn about his footy career.
Welcome back to All About Animals. Today, I'm visiting Riding for the Disabled in South Australia to have a look at the great work they do for children. Hi Kay.
Hi Olivia.
So can you tell us what Riding for the Disabled does?
Riding for the Disabled provides horse riding as recreation and therapy for people with disabilities. We can take people from the age of 3 through until 80, but most of our riders are school age, so they might be teenagers, anyone from about 8 through until 12.
So what are the main benefits to the riders?
It gets them out of an institution, it gets them out of school, it gets them into a physical activity that's actually good for them, not only for their physical body but also for their minds. So it gives them an intellectual challenge to overcome, and that might be overcoming the fear of riding the horse, it might be overcoming a fear of holding something, particularly if they've got an intellectual disability, and sometimes it might even be something as simple as them learning to speak and learning to interact with another person or with the horse.
And what sort of feedback do you get from the riders?
Well, what we get from the riders and from the parents is that they learn to interact with the riders learn to interact with the animals very much. They form a bond with the animal. The stories that we have of riders that have actually spoken for the first time at RDA, I've heard a dozen of them since I've been with RDA, and they're quite amazing because the rider would get out of the car and go charging across to get on their horse and say, Mickey, Mickey, Mickey. And that might be the first time that person has ever spoken in their lives.
So how many volunteers do you have at RDA?
Well, all of the volunteers across South Australia, we have nearly 500, and they support about 400 riders that we have that ride every week with RDA. At this particular centre, there are about 45 volunteers.
And how can the public help?
Well, the public can help RDA in very simple ways, which is the biggest way is just to make donations to help our Covered Arenas project or to help us look after our horses.
Well, okay, you're doing amazing work here. Could I have attend one of your classes?
Certainly, Olivia. Which horse?
Any. I find riding horses really fun, but for the kids here at RDA, it means a lot more than just that. Now, I had a quick chat with one of the parents who has 3 kids with autism, and all of them have participated in Riding for the Disabled.
My son Orlando, he's here today at the Northern Area Centre, Riding for the Disabled. He has autism. He's 3.5. He's been riding since 3. He was quite small when he started, but that wasn't an issue. The centre was happy to take him on. It's helped him develop his balance, his movement. After a riding session, we do find that Orlando is quite settled for the afternoon. He's more focused on things that he does also. So yeah, all around it's a win-win situation.
For more information about how you can help, please go to rda.org.au.
The Australian Shepherd is an intelligent, active working dog, and I'm here with Pauline to check it out. So Pauline, is the Australian Shepherd actually Australian?
No.
Really?
They're actually from America. They've been in Australia since 1994 when the first imports came across, but they originally developed in the United States.
Oh, okay. I've noticed that BJ doesn't have a tail.
No, BJ is one of the few species of dog that actually come with a natural bobtail gene.
Really?
And they can be born with varying lengths of tail, from nothing that BJ's got to full length or anything in between.
So I would imagine that being a shepherd dog, it would need lots of exercise?
Yes and no. Good half hour a day is required, but they're really a people dog.
Yep.
They love doing what their people are doing. So if you're lounging around inside watching TV, playing a video game, they're probably at your feet, asleep. But if you're a type of person that wants to go for a 5K run, they'll be with you all the way.
And do they need lots of looking after?
In the respect of coat, probably a good groom once a week.
Yep.
Just to sort of make sure there's no knots and burrs. I generally check my dogs, especially in burr season, every day, just run my hands through the coat and just pull out any burrs. But they're not a hard coat to look after.
So what were they originally bred for?
The Australian Shepherds were bred for their versatility.
Yep.
They're a very versatile herding dog. In Australia, we actually herd with them, we compete with them with ducks, sheep and cattle.
Oh, cool.
All right, so they are they're known for their versatility. That's what they were bred for.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
How much do these cost?
You can get an Australian Shepherd puppy for about $1,000 for a pet, up to $1,500, $1,800 for a show quality dog.
Oh, cool. Well, thanks for sharing the Australian Shepherd with me.
That's no problems anytime.
Today's celebrity pet owner is Kane Corns from Port Power, so let's go meet his family and his pet dogs. So Kane, when did your football career start?
Well, I started playing when I was about 3. My elder brother Chad was older than me and he played a lot of footy, and also my dad played footy for Glenelg when he was a young man. So I loved footy from a young age, and that's when I became really passionate about it.
And how many games have you played?
Yeah, so I've played 223 games for Port. That's just my AFL career, and I've played a few games in the SANFL for Glenelg, probably about 30.
And how many hours do you spend training each week?
Yeah, well, we train a lot. Football is our full-time job, so just like your parents at home go to work each day, that's what I do as my job. So it's pretty much full-time, so anywhere from sort of 8 in the morning till 3 or 4 in the afternoon.
So what would be the highlight of your career?
Well, in 2004, I was lucky enough to play in the grand final that Port Adelaide won, their first and only grand final so far. So that's what all footballers play for, is to play in a winning grand final, and in that game I got to play with my brother Chad, so it was a great highlight for myself and my family.
So Lisa, you write a column in the Sunday Mail. What do you write about?
Well, Olivia, it's an insight piece, so I write about a real mixture of things from parenting. I even wrote a column about our dog Boss, a real mixture.
Kane, what breed are they?
Yeah, they're both miniature schnauzers, so we really love the miniature schnauzer because they're so good with kids, and obviously that's important for us because we've got 3 kids. Yeah, Raph, and also they don't drop hair, so they're really good to keep the house clean and all that sort of thing.
So Mavis is only a puppy. Why did you decide to get him?
Because we lost him, and you see he's in heaven.
That's right.
Well, it was really nice meeting you all, and I love you dogs. Thanks for your time today.
Hey, thanks for coming.
Thank you, it was our pleasure.
It's now time for me to do my viewers' pets in front of the Sydney Opera House. Thanks for setting them in. I love looking through them all. Let's show you 3 viewers' pets right now. 7-year-old Priya from Adelaide, SA has 2 goldfish, Fanta and Squash. She says goldfish don't have a stomach, so they need to eat small amounts of food regularly. Goldfish can't close their eyes, so they have to sleep with their eyes open, and usually at the bottom of their tank. The oldest goldfish ever recorded reached 43 years of age. They say goldfish are the most popular pets in the world. Devon, aged 11, and Bianca, aged 9, from Corrine, WA, with their pugalier called Scarlet. They say Scarlet is very lovable and cute and looks a bit like a small boxer. Scarlet loves to eat the cat's food when she isn't looking, even though she's scared of the cat. Scarlet likes to sit on tables instead of sitting on the floor like other dogs. She loves going for long walks, but usually runs instead. She's got a lot of energy. 7-year-old Reese from Happy Valley, SA, has a new puppy called Coco. Reese says she's a black and tan Cavalier King Charles Spaniel who loves to stand on her hind legs. She's a really fast learner and actually prefers people to other dogs. She is a little thief who likes to steal things from his house and take them out to the backyard to chew on them. A famous artist called Kitty, who lives on the other side of the world, picked out Coco and did a drawing of her. Weren't they fantastic photos? You can have your photo shown on our show too. All you have to do is email 3 photos of you and your pet plus 5 interesting facts to info@allaboutanimalz.tv, and make sure you go to our website to enter our great competitions and maybe win some amazing prizes for your pet.
We hope you enjoyed watching another great show of All About Animals.
Make sure you go to our Facebook and Twitter pages so you can keep up to date with what we're doing.
Oh, and remember to check out the great competitions on our website.
And thank you for watching All About Animals. See you next time.
Well, that's it for Season 2. We hope you enjoyed watching the exciting animal adventures we shared with you. Stay tuned as Season 3 is just around the corner. This program is brought to you by Barristock, Command Dog Training, established for over 25 years, Linden Park Boarding Kennels, the very best professional care in a wonderful environment, Breeder's Choice and Yarraville Village Animal Hospital. This program was also brought to you by Betts Kids, Westfield Marion, Esprit Kids, Pumpkin Patch, JR Surf and Ski, Breeder's Choice, JJ's and Bonnet Saddle World.